Hey, it's W5HRO. Hey, here's a quick update. This is about my 7th or 8th coat. Did I say that right? 7th or 8th coat of this Brasso brass polish. And what I realized is this is that one from that DX-100B that I just received yesterday or the day before from the guy on eBay. And it's shining up, but there was such a thick layer. It was a super thick layer of oxidation, probably on top of the nicotine. Some guy probably had this smoked for a number of years because I could smell the nicotine down in the meter. It was strong. They probably smoked for a number of years, and the guy's probably dead and gone. It sat in somebody's garage forever, and it built up that grimy dirt on top of the nicotine, and it's just taken me forever to get it off. Now, this bottle of this bottle of Brasso, I use New Finish, the stuff in the orange bottle, the New Finish car polish for the receiver cabinets and stuff. But to clean these meters and make them shine, this is what you got to use. This works perfect. You just got to put enough coats. Normally, it only takes about 2 or 3, but this meter was so oxidized on top of and had that grime on top of that nicotine layer. It took me forever to get down to it, to the actual Bakelite or the plastic material itself. But I'm just now getting there. But I bought this like 5 or 6 years ago, and it was sitting around. And when I first started using it, which made me have to use more layers more coats in the beginning, was because I had to really shake it because it was really runny, and I shook it, and this stuff was all the way sunk down in the bottom, and it took me a long time to loosen it up to where I finally got it like a paste again. And this, if you smell this stuff, it smells like it has a chemical. It's sort of like bleach. It's not bleach, but it's a really harsh chemical, but it's not that harsh. And this stuff has just enough abrasives to polish up, Bakelite and plastic. You wouldn't believe. It works great. But when you get a really old meter like this, that's really dull and has that much oxidation on top of the nicotine, it's hard to get off. So, but what you want to do is, just like, say like my car out here, say if it was clean, see how it's sitting in the hot sun. It's like if you were to put a coat of wax on my hood right now, and the hot sun's going to dry it and bake it on there, right? When it's completely dry, then you rub it off. You can't rub this stuff off until it gets completely dry like that. If you don't, it's not going to shine. You can't get the oxidation and the shine to come until you do that, until you let it completely dry. It's when it's dry, when it's at its dry state is when it works. That's the key. The wet state, it doesn't work. It's the wet state, the chemical soaks in there and gets it loosened up. And then when it dries, then you rub that dry off, and then it buffs it out. That's how it works, and why it works so well. But here's the actual 2 meters, and what I've done is I'm going to use the one here on the left. See how I've got the darker, the grid on the back, what do you call those, the the meter scale? I forget, there's a name for those little inserts. But anyway, I did rob Peter and Paul to build Mary. This meter here is the face with the glass from my old original meter on top of the DX-100B meter that I just got. This is the DX-100B insides with the DX-100 meter face on the front of it. And that's what I've done. And then I swapped the other one for the other one. I just did the reverse on this one. I'm going to have both of them working. I'm going to put both of them back together. This other one will be my backup in case I ever need it. Then this will be the one I'm going to put on the RF exciter panel. But that's it. You just got to do this and let it dry good. You really don't want to let it dry in the hot sun. You don't want it to loosen the glue up. But I think I am going to move it over, because you know what? The thing's getting hot. I can feel it. I'm touching it. It was getting hot. So you really don't want it out. You could put the thing out in the hot sun, but you don't want to loosen the glue up on that glass. It's holding the glass in. So it's better just let this stuff dry naturally in the shade. It takes a lot longer, but once it's completely dry, you rub it off with a rag and rub it hard, and it starts shining, and just keep doing it till you get the whole thing completely shining. You're done. It looks like new again almost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this the next video, but I'm going to actually stop it here, and then when I get this thing all assembled and back together, then I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll continue the video. Then I'll add it on to this one and make it one video. Hey, it's W5RO or W5HRO, W5HRO here. Okay, I got I did build Mary from Peter and Paul. This is the brand new Mary. It's the old face on the DX-100B meter that I just received. I just took the glass and the what do you call the not the dial not the bezel, but the you know the what is the, for some reason I've drawn a blank on what you call those things, the meter scale. You know, those are, they're like a thin piece of metal or like aluminum that are, you know, painted and so forth, silk screened, what have you. But for some reason that name of what you call these has eluded me. I know what it is, I just, for some reason, you ever had one of those things to where you cannot remember the name of it? Happens all the time, you know. Uh-oh, sign of old age again. Here we go. But anyway, I did get this meter to shine pretty well. It didn't, I don't think this is full Bakelite. I think this is some kind of a hard plastic. And sometimes the hard plastics are harder to polish, but I went over it several times and it shined up pretty well. See, it's pretty good now. I could have taken some of that new finished car polish and then gone over that and really buffed it out, but I went, it's good enough. I cleaned the glass, it's perfect now. But here's the thing, I went through and I cleaned all the connections good, and I cleaned all the threads with WD-40 and rubbed them good and with a little acid brush and then a rag, and I got everything good and lubricated and put it all back together. And it's dropped the contact resistance way down. Now I see about 20 milliamps, and that is the 20 milliamp scale. It's for the 0 to 50 milliamp scale for the DX-100 driver, like for the 5763 current. And then it's also for the plate current, which would be like 500 milliamps, 0 to 500. You just add a 0 on the end of it. And then the bottom scale is for the grid drive, the 6146. It's like 0 to 10 milliamps. What was that setting? It's been so many years. What's a pair of 6146s? 8 milliamps, 6 to 8 milliamps? Something like that, right? I can't remember. It's been so darn long. For the 5763, but if I leave this on long enough, this meter, it settles down to 46.3, and that's where it stops. So if I take 46.3 times 20 milliamps, I know what the voltage is. It's a very small voltage, it's like 0.9 some odd volts. It's just under a volt. And what happened is, I started putting this meter back together, and I clipped the leads on this one again and turned it on. I was reading the 25 milliamps again, and I'm like, huh? Wait a minute. So then I went through, okay, let me take it back apart, and I cleaned it almost as good as I did this one. And sure enough, the thing dropped down to the 20 milliamps. So there was a lot of contact resistance just due to the dirty hardware here on this brass. And I kid you not, it was the dirty brass. So a little WD-40. See, look, it dropped it down to the, they were reading about 20, both of them were reading about 23 to 24 milliamps before. Now they dropped down to, both of them are exactly 20. So just cleaning those brass threads up and stuff made that much of a difference. It dropped it down a few mils. Actually, this thing's down to 40. Oh, this thing dropped. Oh, that's the other meter. So if you take 45.2 times, you know, the 20 milliamps, and you get what the voltage drop is across the terminals. So anyway, I did clean both these meters up, and this is the new one I'm going to use now. This is the new Mary I made from Peter and Paul. So now this is either Peter or Paul, take your pick. So this is Mary, and Peter or Paul disappeared, one of them, unless they joined. Maybe they somehow combined, I don't know, but that's it. I finally got these meters all restored. This one I just cleaned up a little bit more, and like I said, this is the old meter. No, this is the new. This is the DX-100B meter scale inside the old DX-100B housing, front and housing, and then this is just the new DX-100B meter with the old DX-100 meter scale. That's basically what his old meter scale in glass. I just swapped the meter scales in the glass. That's all I did. That metal insert in the glass piece, I just swapped them out to get the best one, get something that was going to be the one in the best, to make one in the best condition. Yeah, see, that one settled down to 45.2 volts. I mean ohms. I don't know what I was thinking, because the meter is basically parallel. The black leader's ground, and so basically the meters are at the parallel. they're a parallel connection, so it's definitely measuring current. And that, I don't know what I was thinking the other day. I was saying, I can't figure out what the voltage was. Wait a minute. You just take that resistance reading times the reading here, and you know what the voltage drop is, if the meter's working correctly, and it is. So, but that's it. I'll maybe do another video when I eventually get the meter put in the T368 exciter rack. But I just wanted to kind of give everybody a little show here on how I do these meters. This one's like really good shape now. I got one really good good meter in really good condition. See, I shined everything up. It's all clean, lubricated, good as new. So this is W5 in a row. W5 hurrah. I'm out of here.